Hey guys, it's Kaiwan from Kaiwan Production. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Before we get into this video, you can go check out my store. The link will be in the description. There is a lot of free stuff, free preset, also a lot of discounts going on there. You can check it out. The link will be in the first line in the description. Yeah, have fun. So on Instagram, you get a lot of inspiration by great artists, and one of the artists that I really like his work is Mark Singerman. He's an amazing artist by creating his own style. And if you notice in his photos, he really pumped the photo with a lot of vibrance and a lot of orange and teal and a lot of overlay. Like it's amazing. It's just incredibly amazing. Alright, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create a similar style that he has. And the purpose of this video is not to tell you go copy his style, no. But the opposite is go create your own style with it. I'm going to show you some tools that he used so you can create your style by using these tools. So that's the purpose of the video, and I'll start for myself. I get inspired by a lot of photographers, a lot of artists. That's no shame, but the shame is to copy his style, his exact style. Also, I will link his Instagram down below. You can go check it out. You can follow him, and yeah, so pretty much like that. Stay tuned and let's jump to the Photoshop.
Okay guys, so here we are in Photoshop, and the first thing first, I want to go to filter, then camera raw filter. I want to bring contrast all the way down to -100 because I want to make this photo flat before I work on it. And the purpose of making it flat is very good for color grading, and then bring back the contrast back after color grading. So pretty much like that. The idea is to make your photos flat before you start color grading. So now I'm going to click OK. Alright, so now we made our main background to flat. So now I'm going to Control J or Command J to duplicate the background layer. So after that, I want to go to work on his skin. If you zoom in, we have a little bit spot over here. So I'm gonna go to Spot Healing Brush tool and make sure you click on contour where the type of spot healing brush, and make sure it's normal. And also the hardness is kind of like around 20, and just basically paint over the spot that you have. Pretty much that's it. I'm gonna speed up a little bit to save your time. Alright, so now the part is as you can see, this is before after. We removed a little bit of spot over his face. So now what is coming is basically retouching part, which is really important for me. So all you have to do is just duplicate this original layer 2 times, and I'm gonna rename the top layer with texture, and this one with low layer. Pretty much like that. I'm gonna hide the texture layer, and then I'm going to filter, noise. We have dust and scratch. In dust and scratch, make sure you go with the radius that don't blur too much. So the purpose of going to using dust and scratch is blur, but not too much blur. Like make sure you still have the edge of his eyes. Pretty much here, I think number 9 is really good for me. Basically, you have a different photo, and it depends your photo. If you have a close-up portrait, you will go with more radius. So all you have to remember is to not blur out too much. Click OK, and remember this exact number that you put it on. This is number 9. Click OK. Okay. Now I'm gonna unhide the texture layer. In texture layer, we're going to use we have here a image section, and then we are going to apply image. And then make sure you merge with low layer, click on invert, and then all you have to do is just change the blending mode to add, and also make sure the scale is 2. Click OK, and now all you have to do is just change the normal blend to linear light. Okay, so now we basically didn't do anything. We just created a method called frequency separation, and all you have to do now is go to click on the low layer and then go to lasso tool here. And make sure you put feather on 15 or something like 20 so you can get a smooth edge around it. Alright, so now we're gonna zoom in and just select the this affectable part here. Filter, then go to blur, Gaussian blur, and make sure you put the same exact number that you put it on the dust and scratch, which was 9 for me. Okay, and do the same process for the rest of the part of area of his skin. And all you have to do is just to not all you have to do is just go to Alt Control F on your keyboard, because you don't have to basically do the same process, go to filter, gas and blur again. All you have to do is just do the shortcut, I guess. Okay, so basically like that, which I'm doing that right now. All right, so pretty much like that. All right. Um, so I think we're done with retouching his face. Now what I'm going to do is basically here before after. You can see the difference. I'm going to merge all of these layers with holding Control, Alt, and Shift, and then click on E on your keyboard to create a layer that contains all the layer below. So let's rename it with retouch it. Yeah, retouch it. All right, so now we're going to filter, camera raw filter, and I wanna go gradient filter. Use gradient filter. In gradient filter, make sure you click on reset local correction, so you can basically reset all the adjustment. Reset. Okay, not reset. We're gonna create 2 slides here, and make sure you click on the right side and just bring down a little of the exposure, and also do the same thing for the left side and right side. And now we're going to get back to the main adjustment. Here I'm going to use tone curves here. Okay, now I'm going to bring back a little of the contrast with tone curve. Here I'm going to make a 3-point here. So I'm gonna basically, this is a shadow contrast, so I'm going to bring down this a little bit, something like that, not too much. And I'm gonna add a little bit of midtone, also add a little bit of highlight. Okay, so pretty much like that. And then we're going to SL, which is grayscale. In SL we have blue. I think I'm going to bring down some blue here. So basically it's as you can see, this is like very bluish. It's gonna turn into something like cyan here, which is really cool on the background. It's gonna make orange and teal look. And same for the aqua, I guess. Yeah, same pretty much for the aqua. And also we have red. So I'm gonna add some red, something like around +10. It's gonna change the skin tone, and also don't mess up with the orange. It's gonna affect the skin tone. So we have yellow, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna bring down some yellow, somewhere like -35. And now we have saturation. I want to add some saturation to aqua in the background, also to some blue in the background, which does really make a lot of change. I also want to add some saturation to the yellows. Yeah, so pretty much like that. And then we're going to use luminance. In luminance, basically you can control the brightness and darkness of any color in the photo. I might go add a little bit of red and a little bit of the orange, which does bright a little bit of her skin. Yeah, pretty much like that. All right. So now I'm going to effect. I'm gonna add a little of effect here. Something like bring down something like which does actually add some vignette to the round of the photo. And here we have camera calibration. Camera calibration, we have blue primary. I'm gonna bring down the hue to somewhere like -40, and then add some hue on red primary, which does make a really beautiful orange and teal here. So something like that. Gonna bring down a little saturation. Alright, so pretty much like that, I think. before after. It's a really huge difference in one section, which is camera raw filter. If you zoom in a little bit, you're gonna notice it's kind of out of focus. I shot with 85mm 1.4 Samyang, which is a manual mode focused system. So it was kind of hard for me to focus on his exact eye. So I'm gonna add some sharpening, somewhere like around 100. Yeah, pretty much. It's way too much, but I think it's worth it because you get basically bring all the detail back. I'm not gonna add luminance. I'm just gonna click OK, and here we go. Boom. All right. So after that, I'm going to create a layer, and then I'm going to uh, work on a process called dodge and burn. I'm gonna rename it with dodge and burn. Okay, so all you have to do is just shift and backspace on your keyboard, click OK, and then just change the normal blend to overlay. And then we have here two tools called dodge and burn tool, which is basically in dodge tool, you're gonna paint over the brightness area on his face, pretty much like this kind of area here. Make sure the exposure around something like 20, so you don't get too much exposure over his face. Yeah, pretty much like that. And I'm gonna zoom in more. I'm gonna paint over inside his eye line, which does really make a lot of difference. It's really cool. So yeah, if you zoom back, you can see the difference. It's really cool. All right. So yeah, pretty much like that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a burn tool, but I'm not gonna try to add too much burn tool here. Just a simple on his beard, like that. Paint here. So yeah. You can also paint over the background. Add a little burn tool here, okay. So yeah, pretty much like that. And I'm going to add some dodge tool to the top of the image. So here are the before and after the dodge and burning tool. It's a simple difference, but it's really cool. Now I'm gonna use one of my overlay here. Alright, so as you can see, this is my light package overlay. The link will be in the description if you're interested to get all of these light. You get around 20 light, 20 high resolution light. In my case, I'm going to use this one. I think it's pretty good for this particular image. All you have to do is just drag it and grab it into your main photo and just change the normal blend to screen and boom. Okay, but don't go too much like light. It's gonna make just like a simple things here. Okay, pretty much like that. And yeah, and now if you notice from the background here, we have some bouquet, but in case if you want to add more bouquet to the background here, I have a bouquet overlay package. So basically this is the bouquet overlay package. The link will be in the description if you're interested to get it. In my case, I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to open this one. And all I have to do is just basically select one of the bouquet here. In my case, I'm going with this one. Okay, also make sure you select it with lasso tool, and all you have to do is just click on V on your keyboard, press on your V, and just move it something like that, and just move it to your main image. Okay, and now all you have to do is just change the normal blend to screen, and boom. Okay, so we got the bouquet, but the bouquet is not really realistic, so we want to make it realistic by decreasing the size of it, pretty much like that. I'm gonna turn it the place like that, and now I'm gonna create a group here. I'm gonna rename it with bouquet. Anyway, I'm gonna click on the main bouquet layer and then just basically duplicate it just like that. It's really cool. Alright, so enough for that. I'm gonna change the position somewhere like that, as you can see. And if you don't know how to duplicate the layer, all you have to do is just Control J or Command J. Basically, just duplicate it and move it around a little bit, pretty much like that. It's very easy. It's very cool. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna make it something like here. But these will be a kind of single ones. Yeah, so pretty much like that. I had an idea. I'm gonna make one kind of big here, like an overlay here, something like that. And I'm gonna make it on the top layer. And now, so we have the group of these small bouquet overlay. And now I'm gonna Control E to merge all of the bouquet overlay. Hold Control E, and then change the normal blend to screen again, and boom. And now the reason I did that because I want to blur out a little bit of the bokeh in the background, so make it more realistic, pretty much like that. I think somewhere like, yeah, 9 or 10, it could be great. Okay, click OK, and then I'm gonna get back to the main bokeh here, the big bokeh. I'm gonna add some blur, but too much blur, something like pretty much around 100. Click OK, and boom. Okay. Alright, so if you're interested to get these overlay, the link will be in the description. And now after all these adjustments, after all this process, I want to go to gradient map. In gradient map, we have a lot of preset, but the coolest and my favorite one of all time is this one, which is kind of a violet and orange color. Click OK, then just bring down the opacity, then change the blend mode to overlay. But don't go with too much opacity, somewhere like, 15 or something like that. Yeah, just don't go way too much with opacity. All right, before after, yeah, pretty much like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, basically I'm going to create another layer that contains all the layer below with holding Control Alt Shift and E. Then I'm gonna get back to the camera raw filter. In camera raw filter, I'm gonna bring down some vibrance here, and I'm gonna add some contrast. Okay, so this is a different before after. I'm gonna add more contrast and gonna bring down a little bit of vibrance, more vibrance. Okay, all right. I really like it. Click OK, and here's the before after for now. One thing I want to do here is I want to basically duplicate my light layer here. So all I have to do is just to bring it to the top, because we already made the layer that contained all the layer below. So if you just bring this to the top, it will basically duplicate it again. And I'm gonna add some blur here to the layer, something like, yeah, pretty much 90. Yes, so yeah, pretty much like that. Alright guys, so now all I have to do is I just want to add a little bit of grain with camera raw filter. So we're going to get back to effect. Here I just want to add some grain. If you zoom in, it really makes the photo really nice. So I really like it. Okay, and I'm just gonna decrease the contrast a little bit, not too much. Okay, and we have shadow. We're gonna bring up a little bit of the shadow. Yeah, so pretty much like that. Add a little bit of highlight around +10. Add some clarity here. We have somewhere like around +33. Click OK again, and boom, so we got the result. And I'm just gonna reduce more of the light here. Okay, so that's it. Before after. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, make sure you give a big thumbs up. Also subscribe for more upcoming tutorials, and also comment down below if you want to suggest a photographer to make a tutorial about, or a anything in your mind. Just comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Stone, 2 damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code. Used to sip out styrofoam, but figured I should stick